The exterior of a Toyota Wish car is youthful and dynamic, but there is so much more to it that meets the eye. I go by the names GEALS Collins, and this is my ride. Welcome to the show. Let's kickstart. We all know it for the spaciousness that we like it for. Today I'm going to be joined by an expert from Babu Motors. You may know about this car, the Toyota Wish car, and I may know about it, but at the end of the day there is a lot more, like I told you, that meets the eye about this car, and you're going to know more than you know. So as of now, Mr. Babu, how are you doing? What is your name? And tell us about yourself in a little bit.
Okay, my name is Navid and Navid Ahmed. My company is Babu Motors, Uganda Ltd. And I'm the director. Yeah, I import vehicles from Japan. And among the vehicles, actually Wish is one of the best car. Especially when it comes to purchasing power. It is it accommodates I could say purchasing power of a common Ugandan. You know, we can't, it's like a car which has been for the last 4 to 5 years, it has been in the market, and it's I could say hot sale or hot cake, because in terms of maintenance, in terms of fuel economy, in terms of it accommodates like 7 passengers. Yeah. It is sitting capacity. It's really good and nice vehicle.
Okay, yeah. So as we engage into that, you know, like I was telling the viewer out there, that the Toyota Wish car is a practical car. Yeah. You know, it is. It can serve as a family car and a commercial car. It is known for its fuel efficiency. I've seen very many Wish car owners around Uganda. You know, they feel comfortable with their cars and everything, and every time they're driving them, they don't seem to have a problem with, you know, the fuel consumption of the car. So how does that work out with the fuel?
Okay, the fuel consumption, if the same car, Wish, let's say you are driving it from here to, we call it long routes, maybe from here to Jinja, and then there is no jam at all. It can give you, when we are getting them from Mombasa, we call it a long route. It is driven 1,400, 1,500 kilometers. And when it reaches here, we check the fuel consumption, how much has it consumed. Actually, it indicates that it has given 16 kilometers per liter. And it depends on the driver, because the drivers who are bringing it from Mombasa, actually they are professional and they know how to save in fuel. And with automatic cars, actually they take in fuel what is required. For example, you might, let's say I have a Wish and I'm driving, and you have a Wish, you are driving. Your fuel consumption and my fuel consumption is not going to be the same. There are various reasons. A reason number 1 could be driving skills. A reason number 2 could be the maintenance of the vehicle. I could be doing service on time, all the mechanical conditions, or vehicle is mechanically perfect, and it gives me maybe 16 kilometers per hour, per liter. Okay, and then your car is giving you maybe 12 kilometers per hour, per liter. Yeah. Then definitely there is the first thing I could say is driving skills, then also mechanical conditions, then also it comes to you could be stuck in the jam, you know, well, the vehicle is in jam, it consumes more fuel, it gives you less average. Then because when we talk about fuel efficiency, we don't include jam, you know, which is a major problem currently we are facing. And then it comes to also when you're driving, it's advisable. There are people actually when they are going for long route, for example here to Gulug, here to Barara, it's a journey of 300 kilometers or 400 kilometers. They think when they don't switch on air condition, for example, they open their windows, they are saving in fuel, which is not true. What happens? This when you switch, lower your windows, air is entering your vehicle, and engine is being forced to even take in that air, and it's like if the windows are closed and air condition is on, then definitely at long journeys your vehicle will consume less fuel. That is the advice I give out to my friends out there. Don't think that when you put an air condition and you are going to spend more fuel. No, the money is spent, if you are driving within town, for example, you are in jam and you have switched on your air condition, it is a different than when you are going for a long journey. It's always advisable when you are going for a long journey and it is hot, instead of lowering your window, you better put them off and you switch on your air condition. You will save in fuel.
Yeah, so definitely the owner of a Wish shouldn't be afraid to turn on their air conditioner because they would think that maybe it's going to consume a lot of fuel. Yeah, that's quite something to look out, because I've seen that so common. You don't need to be afraid, because guys have always complained about it when they are driving, that the air conditioner consumes a lot of fuel and all that. Yeah, so to engage you a little more in this, let's first get into particularly this car right here. It's a Wish, yeah? It's a Wish. So what model is it? What type of Wish is it?
It is a Toyota Wish. It is a 207 model, and right now as importers of vehicles we are allowed to import a 207 model and beyond. So 207, 208, they look the same. You can't differentiate from outer look that this is 27 or 28. But when it comes to 209 model, it changes the shape. Okay, so this one is 207 model. It is having the same engine, the one of 24, 25, 26, 27. It is engine type is VVTi engine, and it's 1.8, 1800 cc petrol engine.
How cheap is it to maintain, and how much does it go for really?
When it comes to maintenance, actually Wish is very easy to maintain. It's Toyota made vehicle, and when it comes to Toyota, it's one of the popular brand here in Uganda, and spare parts are easily available and considerably cheap compared to other companies. Then too, when it comes to its price, now here the logic is, you have to understand there is when you are buying a new car from the bound, you have to understand there is what we call grades. For us, when we are buying as importers, we buy cars in grades. Let's say, for example, this particular car is 3.5 grade. 3.5 grade is one of the best grade in Japan. In Uganda, the way we count, somebody will tell you grade 1 is the best grade. Yet in Japan, grade 1 is the poorest grade. Okay, it starts from grade 4. Actually, the vehicles imported in Uganda, mostly they are imported grade 4. Somebody who is importing grade 4 Wish and someone who is importing grade 1 Wish, that's where the price difference comes in. Now, let's say that this Wish is grade 4 or 3.5, then purchasing price in Japan, it could be, for example, $1,500. Okay? Then another person who is buying grade 1, he could be buying it at $500. Now, there, how do they give grade? They have diagnostic kits before the vehicle enters auction to be auctioned or sold. They check vehicle engine, they check A to Z, gearbox, they check everything, and then interior, exterior, and does it have a sport trim, does it tires, they are new, then they mark it grade, that this one is under this grade. Let's say I imported this one 3.5 grade, and another colleague of mine or maybe another individual imported grade 1. Now it costed him the other side a $1,000 cheaper than mine. So which means my cost price starting point was approximately 3.7 million shilling expensive than the somebody who bought it poor quality. Okay. Now when it comes here, because the rest of the costs are the same, shipment, clearance, registration, taxes, number plate, everything is the same. Now, the logic is in good quality and poor quality. Now, when somebody imports a good quality, when you come to the market and ask how much is wish. Now, reaching that point also, it brings in two questions. Are you buying cash or you are buying credit? Let's say the person who has come to buy, he is buying cash. Now, someone will tell you that me, I'm selling at 26 million shilling or 25 million shilling, my last price, is the person who has brought in a good quality car. Now you go to another person or another dealer and ask him how much is wish. His starting point is 24. Then he negotiates and come to 23. He affords to sell cheaper because he bought it cheaper and he bought it poor quality. Maybe there were dents, there were scratches, he worked on them, and then end of the day he sold it a little bit cheaper than the market price because he can afford that. Now, it doesn't make somebody comes to me and he says, how much is your wish? And I'm like 25, for example. And he goes to my another colleague or maybe another dealer and asks, how much is your wish? And they say 24. As somebody who doesn't understand the entire logic behind why am I selling expensive and why the other person is selling cheap, they will simply term it, oh, this one is expensive and the other one is cheap, without looking. Because when you come to buy a car, I advise my colleagues out there or my friends out there, there are a number of things you should consider. Number one, don't go to exterior of the car, how it looks outside. Oh, this car is shining, it's nice. No. Number one you should be considering is mileage of the car. Number two, does it come with the alloy rims, sport rims? We call them sport rim here. Then look at the tire conditions. For example, somebody is selling you $1 million or 2 million shilling cheap a vehicle, but it does not have a sport rim and the tires are old. You will spend that money. Immediately you take out of the bond, you will be going to the workshop to change the tires and the rim. It will cost you 1.5 million or 1.7 million. So it's end of the day, whether you like it or you don't like, you bought a poor quality car and you ended up spending more money on it. And end of the day, it goes back to the same 25 or 26 million. So the average price in the bond, if it is cash, average price I could term it 25.
25,000.
25 million shilling.
25 million shillings.
Yes.
Okay, that is great. Yeah, just a moment. You know, Babu right here, I call him Babu Motors because, you know, that's his company. He's the CEO of it. So, you know, he's going to be sharing with us. Whatever he's sharing with you now is actually, that's what he does. He has his company, motor company. But for first hand, of course, you're catching it live on Magic One on My Ride show. So let's continue. Yeah, so you were still explaining to us, you know.
Yeah. I was insisting in one point. Please, we receive so many clients here. They come here that, Babu, last week I bought from, I will not mention any company, from that company, and within 2 days or 3 it had engine problem or it had this problem. So I advise them that actually when you come to buy a car, it's advisable that yes, you can come with your mechanic, and I will insist on one point, a trustworthy mechanic. You come with him, he checks for you the vehicle engine. The rest you can see, the exterior and the interior, you know. And if you bring yourself and you come, then take your time to check the vehicle, ask questions as many as possible. Ask them whether this vehicle is, what is the year, what is the registration process. So you don't get, into something whereby we get clients, somebody comes here and then he says, okay, I'm buying this, for example. And then the following day, maybe he takes pics and he shows his friends or family or maybe, then he comes back and says, I don't want this car, I want the other one. Now, the mistake they make, immediately you pay us. We go ahead and we pay taxes and we start the registration process. So there it becomes impossible for us to it is irreversible. It can't be reversed. It's something which has been done. And now the reason why we can't give you another car, on your side simply you would say, that what does it take you to leave this and give me another one? Yes, it takes. Number one, I have started the registration process. I have paid taxes for it. Now, once you pay taxes and move this car out of the bond, it devalues. Someone who comes to buy a new car from the bond, definitely he wants to buy a new car from the bond, not outside, old number.
Yeah,
Even if it's 1 day old. Okay? So, before making your decision, please take your time. Be sure what you have come to buy. You do your enough, ask your questions from the direct source, because they will guide you. We are always available, most especially myself. When a client comes and asks for maybe, when you come to the bond, you could be coming with one car in your mind. Let's say you are coming to buy a Wish. But it's always good to share your, idea with the importers. You are like, I want to use for A, B, C, D, and then maybe the purpose you want to buy that car, it does not serve. For example, for instance, let's say somebody is planning to buy a car. He's looking for extra income, and he's like, let me go to the bond and buy a Toyota Passo because it's cheap. It's a 1000 cc. They assume that since it's a small engine, it will consume a little fuel and it will bring me a lot of income. I'll use it for these online applications, and for business. But when you ask me, I'll tell you that one is a wrong decision. Why? Because you are choosing a wrong car for commercial activities. And one of the reasons people buy Wish is it is 2-in-1. It serves as a family car, as you started with, and it serves as a business car. So the advantage with Wish you can have is, one is a durable car. Spare part is everywhere and is available, and it's considerably cheap. Let's look at our mechanics within the country. Let's say you have Benz and I have a Wish, and we have traveled to where maybe, I will not mention a town, but up country, some town. Then if my vehicle develops a problem, anywhere it's like, universal. Anywhere you go, Toyota engines, our mechanics, they are very good at that. And spare parts are cheap and available.
The cars these days, the body is not as hard as those ones back in the day. What brings about that?
The main reason behind could be competition. What happens, the vehicle producer companies, they are producing vehicles. Yes, if they want, they can produce the same body as they were producing during 80s and 90s. But now the challenge is they have to produce a vehicle. These days, you have to equip it with the airbags, you have to equip it with the multimedia, you have to equip it with the ABS system, and in the market, buyers, they consider those things more than considering the body. And if they are spending a lot of money on making the body hard, and yet they put in those things which are needed, then the price goes high, and they have to sell them on the market as hotcakes. And if you are producing a vehicle which is, you are spending, let's say, $20,000 to produce, then definitely in the market there is a competitor who will produce a little bit light body and will sell it at 15,000, and yet yours is costing you 20. So I think competition is forcing the manufacturing companies to produce vehicles at moderate. They are not light, but they are moderate. So they have to buy a car within that range. Yes, vehicles are there. We can bring them. Actually, I import vehicles on order as well. For example, you come to me and you are like, I want this specific vehicle and it's not available in the market. We import for you, and we give you, actually we only charge you service fee. Yes. And the best advice I will give out to my friends there, when you buy a car, you are buying a car of maybe, for example, 25 million shilling. It's a lot of money. It might have taken somebody to save for the last 5 years. Then please, I will insist on one point, is service. Do service on time. Don't compromise on the quality of the engine oil, and always take to places where you know that they are trusted. That is one. Two, equip your vehicle at least with a GPS tracking device. Reason behind, is that you have bought a vehicle of 25 million shilling, and sometimes, you know, we all end up, maybe, let's say, for example, let's say these days we have curfew hours. You are caught up somewhere, and then along the way, you are stopped. Then they tell you that you are driving past curfew hours, and they leave this car here and go. You have left your car behind, for example. You will have a sleepless night. You will think that, oh, somebody is going to steal. Yeah? But when you have your GPS tracking device installed in the vehicle, at least you are able to monitor your car. You are able to see it from your phone. Where is my vehicle? Is it safe? And if anything is happening with your vehicle, you will be seeing and getting notifications on your phone.
Yeah. All right, that's very great. Talking about the tracking devices, we'll have that on some other episode sometime with my Babu Motors right here. Well, I go by the names GEALS Collins, and you know, we've come to the end of the show. We can go on and on and on, but we only got limited time. So yeah, as well, I'm dressed by Hive, as you can see, you know, we'll be representing to the fullest. And so, Babu Motors, I want to ask you one last question,
yes,
and this
please.
is going to close the show. Yeah?
Yes,
what would you do if you're caught up in a few hours and you don't have all the requirements, you know, the requirements required for you to satisfy, let me say, the security forces to let you go? What would you do?
I personally, I am a law-obedient citizen, and you know, as a businessman here in Uganda, we highly appreciate out there the whole citizens of Uganda, and armed forces as well, the government as well, because we, you know, the treatment, the kind of hospitality we get. I am talking about myself. So I personally do not risk. I personally, because it's like breaking law. Okay, when you are breaking law, you do not expect any kind of mercy from any kind of, officers on the ground. Yes, they will do what they want and they will follow a law. So I would advise my friends out there that please avoid driving past curfew hours, and please be law obedient as I am, and make sure that you are not breaking the law. There are those who are like, want to come and visit my place.
Definitely. Go ahead.
They want to know where we are located. My friends, we are located in Future Group Holding Carbound. It is on Jinja Road, Nakawa. One side of ours, down there, it is Babu Motors. And the other side is USA Carbound. We are in the middle, opposite MTAC, MATC. MTAC. And you can also Google for Babu Motors, and you will see what we do and the type of cars we have. And actually, we run a lot of other projects. I have discussed with my friend here, Colin, and we shall be bringing you more interesting stories concerning different projects and how you can benefit from us and how we can work together to make this country better.
Yeah, well, go and catch My Ride show on YouTube. You know, go and type in My Ride UG on all your social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter. You know, catch us there. But none other than that, you know, peace out. It is My Ride, GEALS Collins. Catch you.